It was the night before Christmas. I was closing down for business in my little present shop, when the bell on the door jingled once more, and then time almost came to a stop. But somehow I knew, and maybe so did you.
Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to Vlogmas Day 4. In today's video, by the title, you can tell that we're gonna have a little story time, and I'm gonna tell you the story about when they robbed Christmas. Yes, it actually happened. If you follow me over on Instagram, you already know this, but last week on Wednesday, so the Wednesday before Black Friday, I was going home from work. I had my bicycle as always, and I had my purse, I had my jacket, and in my purse I had all the things of value that I own, basically. And I also had quite a bit of cash, which I normally don't have, because we were going to Mercadona and do the weekly shopping, and I had been taking with me the money to spend for there, and I also had all the money that I had saved and worked for to buy the Christmas presents for Natalie. So keep that in mind. But what happened was I had finished work, and Caesar had picked up Natalie. He had taken her to a park nearby, and I was going there to meet them, and then we were heading to Mercadona and do the shopping. So I meet them at the park. They are playing, having fun. I'm there taking pictures of them and just enjoying our time together. And I said, okay, so I will be going to Mercadona before you, and you will meet me there, or you take her and the car and we meet there. And he said, Natalie, do you prefer to go with the car, or do you want to go mommy with the bicycle like she normally do? And she said, no, I want to go with the car. So he took her and he headed to Mercadona as well. And I said, I will start to go and we should be there at the same time. And from where we were, maybe there is 400 meters to Mercadona. It's very near. It's like 1.5 street or 2 streets away. So I took my bicycle, and as always I started cycling the same road I always take when I go with Natalie to kindergarten and that kind of thing. And I'm approaching a level crossing when I realized that a scooter, a scooter, is approaching, and that they are crossing in front of me and slowing down, and also going up to where the pedestrians walk in a little park area. So they park there on top of the pavement, and there are 2 guys on top of the scooter, and the one in the back, he jumps off the scooter and he starts to walk towards the level crossing and want to cross in front of me, or at least what I thought, but he stops and he let me continue with the bike. We lock eyes, so he watched my face, he looked in my eyes and I see his face and everything. And all I noticed in that moment was that he was wearing black clothes, and he had his helmet still on, even if he jumped off the scooter to go. And I was just thinking like, 2 teenagers going home from school, like the one driving is dropping off his friend. That's what the train of thought that I had, because in my mind they were like teenagers or young adults, but I was thinking like they were going home from school or something. But I mean, they were bigger than me in size. Anyway, I continue on my bike, and suddenly I feel like a big struck in my back, like a really big hit in my back, and I lose my breath for a few seconds, and I go like, what happened? And then I see in the corner of my eye that the scooter is coming again, like on the left side of me, and the guy on the back, I realized that the guy who was crossing the street had jumped on the scooter again, and now when they were driving past me, I felt a hit in my back and they passed me, and I realized that the guy behind is holding my jacket like this when they are continuing, and I was like shocked, thinking like, he has my jacket. How can he have my jacket? And I realized the hit I felt was when he took the things I had back in the baby seat, because I have Natalie's not car seat, the child seat on the bicycle. And I put my bag there, I put my jacket there, and I locked it with her like seat belt. So I locked it in place to not fall out when I'm on the bike. Normally I have the things in my basket in front, but because she was not with me, I had it in the back with the lock. So what happened was that he had grabbed whatever he could, and he like did that kind of movement, like to jank it out of place, and he managed to get both of my things. But first I only realized that he has the jacket, and I'm looking at him in shock, or them going away or driving away, and I realized that I see also the strap of my bag, and in that second I understand, or my brain is starting to comprehend what just had happened, and I realized that he had my jacket and my bag. And they just stole my bag, and I'm thinking, oh my god, they robbed me. I'm robbed. They stole my bag, they stole my things, and I start to feel like panic, and I just scream on the top of my lungs like, no! I start to pedal, I think you say, like the fast as I could, and trying to chase them. I don't know what I was thinking, like what was gonna happen, like if I'm screaming loud enough and if I'm fast enough, they're gonna stop and give the things back. Of course not. But I just saw everything I owned going away from me, and I needed to get back my things. I needed to get back my bag. And in my bag, I'm gonna tell you what I had now. I had my wallet, and in my wallet I had my passport, my residencia card, which is the ID that you have here in Spain. I had my medical card, I had Natalie's medical card, I had Natalie's identity as well card, not the passport, because she has an ID card, in a Spanish one, that she can travel with. And I had like 225 euros in cash, because we were gonna do the shopping. And I had both of my Visa cards, one from a Spanish account, one from a Swedish account. I had, you know, everything that you have in your wallet. Photos, memorabilia, important receipts, you know, everything that you have in your wallet. And more. And I had the keys of my house. I thought that I had the keys of my house. I had the keys of my job, and I had the extra keys for my mother's salon, because I have an extra spare of keys in case she needs them or anything like that. And I had them in my bag as well. And also I had like my makeup, my favorite makeup, like my Elizabeth Arden things that Caesar bought me for Christmas 1 year ago. And I had my phone, I had my iPhone 6 there. I had like my calendar, my everything. And I mean, I had business cards, I had the directions of where I work. So I mean, if and on the keys of my job also had the alarm on them. So if they wanted to rob my office, they could have, but they have changed the locks, so they can't now. But basically everything I own that is of value was in that bag at this moment, and it's just the worst luck you can imagine. Normally I don't have all that things all the time with me, but this moment I did, and thanks to God that I chose to change my bag in the morning, because normally I have my Louis Vuitton bag that I worked really hard to buy, and if you know how much it costs to buy a Louis Vuitton bag, then you know that would have devastated me. I can never afford buying that again. But in the morning I decided to change for another bag. It was my Guess bag, beige one, that I have done what's in my bag video with that once. So if you want to see what bag was, you can go ahead and try to find that video somewhere in my playlists. I can't remember now when I uploaded it, but anyway, So what I'm doing in this moment, I'm just realizing that I have lost my life and I'm losing my mind as well. So I'm chasing them, I'm screaming, crying, like panic mode, complete panic mode, and I follow them 2 streets down. So they continue on the street we're on, they turn to the left, and in front of us was Mercadona, and they continue, and here is people. In the street we were when they robbed me, nobody was, but when we turn, I can see like 8 people on the street, and I'm screaming bloody murder. The people that saw me, they only saw this crazy blonde girl screaming on a bike like somebody just killed her family. And all I could think of there and then was like, Christmas is ruined. Like, they just stole everything that I had worked for. How on earth was I gonna give Natalie a decent Christmas? How was I gonna buy her Christmas presents? My heart was broken. And when I come to the end of that street, they turn again to the left, and I decided that I was not gonna continue after, because in the end, what was I gonna do if they stop? It was not gonna end bad. I mean, by this point they had stolen everything, but I had my health. They didn't do anything more physical other than the impact I got when they took the things, and when they tried to, I don't know if they tried to hit me for me to fall down. I couldn't see what they were doing, but I only felt a big hit in my back. So some kind of violence, but I mean, it was not like they were smashing my face or anything. So yeah, I decided to step down from my bike and just walk with my bike to in front of Mercadona, where Caesar was gonna meet me. And people were watching me, and people were realizing that things were not as it should be, but nobody said anything really. And this is something that I can't understand. If you see somebody screaming on the street like, help, help, stop, stop, stop that people, why you don't say anything? Why you don't make a photo? If you see that somebody has robbed somebody, or somebody is doing something wrong to another person, if not try to step in, but at least call the police or take a photo, or try to, you know, help in some way, not just stand there like a stupid person doing nothing. Anyway, people was mainly just watching me, and then I stopped my bike in front of the cash machine, and there was a lady there taking out some money, and after a while she looked at me, she didn't say anything, and then after a while she said, "Are you okay?" And I said, "No, I'm not okay, they just robbed me." And I was screaming, not screaming, but I was like near to hyperventilation. I was like breathing very heavily, and I have very easy to get in panic. I suffer from panic attacks, from anxiety and that kind of thing. So for me, if I start to get panic, it's very easy to start hyperventilating and that kind of thing. But by now I was okay. I was very upset. And she offered to let me borrow her phone, and she said, "Do you want to call your husband?" And I said, "No, he's on his way." And she asked, "Do you want to call the police?" And I said, "Yes." So I called 112, and after I hung up on them, telling them what had happened and where I was, she stayed with me, and Caesar arrived, and he could see that I was talking to somebody and not realizing that anything was wrong until he saw my face and that I was completely full of tears and destroyed. And he was like, "Are you okay, Nana? What happened? What happened?" And I said, "I was robbed." And "What?" He was like shocked as well. Nobody could understand what just had happened. And Natalie, she also saw that I was upset, and she was like, "Mommy, are you okay?" What? And I said, "No, I'm not okay. Mommy is very sad." And she tried to make me feel better, and then the police came, and I had Guardia Civil, and I had also Policía Local come in separately in 2 cars, asking me for the details, and I walked with a couple of them to the back side of the shop to show them what street they were on, and we started to look for if there were any cameras in the area, and there was cameras, but nobody thinks that they were pointing in our direction at that moment. So I don't know if they are able to get any photographs of the guys, but I could explain to them more or less what they looked like, what clothes they were wearing, what kind of scooter it was. I couldn't see the number plate because it's so tiny, and I was just looking at my bag basically, thinking that that's mine. And I'm laughing now because it has been a few days and the shock has worn off, but for the 2 following days all I did was cry. And I think the shock didn't stop or didn't subside until 48 hours later after it had happened. I was still in shock for a long time. So after that, and the police said, we will call you or Caesar if anything comes up, if we need you to identify anybody, but you need to go and make a denounce as soon as possible. And then we started calling people, like we started calling the bank to block my cards and all of that thing, block my like to change the password of my internet bank login, that kind of thing, just to be sure. And I called my mom and I called my boss to say what has happened, and they had to change the locks, and they did, and horrible, 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 horrible. And then we came home, we tried to make dinner, I tried to do the things that I needed to do and to take care of Natalie and put her to bed, but it was really difficult. All I did was cry. And when it was like 9 o'clock at night, when she was gonna go to sleep, and Caesar starts to call me like crazy, and I didn't want to answer because I had, by this point, I had brought out my old phone, my iPhone 5 or something like that, to have a phone, because I needed to be able to contact with Caesar. And I remember that that phone is still very much working. I have a different SIM card inside, so I can use that phone. It's just old and small and uncomfortable, but I could use it. And he starts to call me, and I said, you cannot disturb me now when I'm putting Natalie to bed. And he said, but I realized that you can try and find your iPhone. If you search in your iCloud something, there is like a function of, if you have lost your phone, you can look for it via satellite. I don't know how to say, but you know what I mean. You can look in the map, and it will appear, if you have that function, it will appear like a dot where you can find it. And I started to investigate this, and I knew that I had just no battery left in my phone. And I sit down with my computer and I said, no, I cannot do this. I have to put Natalie to bed, because she was crying and I was screaming at her, and I didn't want her to get the trauma because I was upset. So I just told him, I basically told him fuck off, because I was so angry, and I said, don't call me more, don't stress me, I will do it when I can. And I put Natalie to bed and I stayed with her, and she was upset too. She was crying and she said that she was scared, and I said, don't worry, mommy is here, because by now she understands everything, and she picked up how panicked I was. So I just tried to make her feel better, even though I was a mess and I was crying. And she fell asleep, and I went out to the computer again, sitting down, trying to clear my head, like, okay, I need to do this, I need to concentrate, I need to look for my phone, where it could be. And I followed the direction. I googled it, because I'm not very clever with this kind of things, so I had to google what to do, but in the end I followed the directions, and the map appears, and on the map I can see 2 dots. 2 green dots, one where I am with my computer and my old phone, and another dot here where I could see that my phone was. And I was like, it was blowing my mind, because my phone that they had stole was very near to my job, and it's like 3 kilometers away from where they physically robbed me. So I knew that they had gone, or what way they had gone, more or less. And I called Caesar and I say, I see it, I know where the phone is, I know where they are, or I know where is the phone at least. And he said, okay, send me a picture of exactly where you are, or where the direction of it, and I will call the police. And he called the police, and he, together with the police, went to the direction of the phone, and constantly I had to update them if it was moving or not, and I had to provide my passwords and that kind of thing to the police, for them to also on Caesar's phone be able to see the location of the phone. and it was dark. It was 11 o'clock at night at this point, and they were investigating. They were going in the land, like in the forest, near to the beach, but like in the forest. And they searched, I don't know, 20 minutes, half an hour, and in the end Caesar actually did find, believe it or not, he actually did find my phone in a bush, because they had put the sound as well, that you can there is a way of making the phone make noise, and they put that and they could hear it, and Caesar found it, and when he took the phone it had 1% battery left. So it's like a Christmas miracle, really, that they were able to find my phone. And when he found it, he called me and he go rushing back home and he gave me my phone, and so many things were solved only from getting my phone back. But so yeah, I have my phone again, which is amazing. And by now they haven't tried to take out any money or anything like that from my account, but it's still very scary, and the guys are still free. The police has not caught them yet, at least they haven't told me. I did go 2 days later to make the denounce, because I tried on Thursday, but the office had time to close before we entered, and so I had to go on Friday. And then also I went to the bank on Friday to have a conversation with them, for them to help me sort things out with the insurance company, and I'm waiting for the insurance company to call me and see if they're gonna cover anything of what I have lost. And I'm just praying that it will, and I'm praying that the police will call me as well for me to identify the guys, because I really want them to get caught. I don't like to know that they are out there, and I honestly think that they are local. I don't think that they were here just for that. I think that they live here. I have a feeling that they do this all the time, and that they, I don't know if they are following me and had me like pinned at somebody that they wanted to rob, or if I was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. But I'm confident that this is not the first time they rob anyone. So, yeah, I'm feeling better now. I feel a lot better. I can talk about it without crying, but I don't like to go out, and I don't have my bag with me when I go out now. I only wear my jacket, and I have my wallet like in the pocket. I can't bear myself to bring a bag. I feel too uncomfortable. And I don't like to go on my bike, and I don't like to leave the house, basically. So I'm affected, but little by little I think I'm gonna start to feel better. But yeah, so that was not very fun. I feel like they destroyed so much. Now we couldn't do the Black Friday shopping as we wanted, that I had planned. I had planned to buy things for myself and for Caesar too. I had been like keeping an eye on things for the year, during the year, to know what I wanted to get, and horrible. So I feel like they stole Christmas from us. Thanks to God we had some money saved from birthday parties and previous birthdays and that kind of thing. So Natalie is still gonna get her Christmas presents, but I mean, it's not as easy as if it would have been if they didn't rob me. And Caesar was also very affected. He was very angry too. So, from now can only get better. I would appreciate if you guys pray as well. I feel like you did when I posted on Instagram, and that's why we found the phone. But I mean, if you could pray for my strength to come back, for me to not feel so vulnerable, that would be very lovely. But tomorrow we have another exciting video. Tomorrow we have more festive and Christmassy content coming for you guys. We are gonna do some Christmas baking, we're gonna do a challenge, we're gonna do a gingerbread house, and I'm just super excited. And Natalie's friend is coming over, and her mother is coming over, and we're gonna have the jolliest time. you can imagine my excitement. But yeah, that's coming in tomorrow's video. So if you aren't subscribed, please subscribe. I mean, Vlogmas is 25 days. So if you haven't seen our previous 3 videos, please check them out. I have the playlist linked down below, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Be safe out there, don't have too much cash on you, and try to be safe. I don't want this to happen to anybody else. It's not very fun. Yeah, and if you're on a bike, wear a helmet. I think that's what I'm wishing for Christmas. A helmet and a better insurance. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye!